Bismillah walhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Boonaa Mohammed here, coming at you with another episode of Boonaafide here exclusively on DOPStv. Mental health is one of those topics in the Muslim community that is still considered pretty taboo. We can't really talk about it openly, and many times there are people who are suffering from certain conditions that as communities we just don't know how to address. This is a topic that I'm really passionate about. I think that there's still a lot that we don't know about mental health in our community. So here's my list of the top 5 misconceptions about mental health that I had, and I'm sure a lot of you out there still have today. Number 1, the first thing that I learned about mental health is that not everyone with a mental health condition is dangerous or violent. Because of TV and media and the way we understand the world today, I think one of the only times we hear about mental health is when there are these mass killings, or if there is an evil villain in a TV show who happens to suffer from some type of psychotic episode. That's really the only time mental health really comes into our framework. But actually, according to a study published in the American Journal of Mental Health, people who suffer from mental health issues are more likely to actually be the victims of violence themselves. In fact, most people with mental health issues are not violent at all, and they actually pose no threat to society. They just need a bit of help, and sometimes we as communities can do much more to support them in their personal growth. Secondly, another major misconception that I think a lot of us suffer from in our community is that only white people have mental health issues. But in fact, in North America, white people receive more treatment for mental health simply because they come from backgrounds that are encouraging of mental health treatment, and they have the privilege of actually being able to access it. But people who come from poverty, people who come from disenfranchisement, people who come from the lower parts of our society, they are actually more likely to come into contact with some type of mental health issue. The only difference is they don't have the money, they don't have the access, and they don't have the resources to get them the help that they actually need. I mean, think about it. To this day in the Muslim community, it's such a taboo that we would rather think our loved ones, our family members are possessed by some type of satanic spirits than just think that maybe they have a mental health issue that we can get simple treatment for. Another misconception that many of us have is that a person who looks or seems like they're happy can't be suffering from some type of mental health illness. But yet around the world, there are many people who go to the extent of actually harming themselves or committing suicide, but don't show any outward signs of depression. Many different mental health illnesses, including clinical depression, don't result in a person looking a certain way. So just because you don't perceive that they seem like they're depressed or they seem like they're suffering from some type of mental health illness doesn't mean that it's not there. And because of the stigma attached to mental health illnesses, many people who do suffer have to work overtime and make sure they look completely fine. Otherwise, they'll get judged and made fun of because of their sickness. Number 4, some Muslims think that if you suffer from some type of mental health illness, it means that you just have low iman. And in fact, it's your fault you're going through this test to begin with. There is this perception that because you have a sickness which lives inside of the brain, that if you just try hard enough and think positively, then you'll just be able to get rid of it. But blaming someone who is struggling with a mental health illness is like blaming a woman who has breast cancer for having cancer because she doesn't want to live badly enough. Mental or not, illnesses can come without just cause, and the people who are fighting these illnesses don't need us insulting them and calling them bad Muslims as well in the process. Number 5, people with mental health illnesses need to be on some type of medication. Because drugs like antidepressants are a popular way of treating mental illnesses, people assume that you need to take them your entire life. But the reality is that medication is not always necessary. Some people choose to just use therapy, for example, or other times people choose to use a combination of medication and therapy. In any case, what's most important is that they find a qualified practitioner and work on creating a treatment plan that suits their needs best. In the future, I would love to see more Islamic organizations involved in the field of mental health. Right now, unfortunately, there's so much stigma around this topic that people out there are just not getting the help they need, and we need to start thinking past just ruqya or reading Quran on people and thinking about a more holistic approach to really helping people who might be suffering from any type of mental health illness. If we push hard enough and break the taboo around this subject, inshallah, we can help so many of our own brothers and sisters live happy and healthy lives. Jazakallah khair for watching. Inshallah, stay tuned for another great episode of Boonaafide here exclusively on DOPStv. Jazakumullah khairan for watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hold a second. If I get in, great. If I don't get in, great. I'm still gonna pursue.
But at one point, my goal in life was to be a